Hello, my beautiful, beautiful crew. It is Jamie Salazar. I am coming to you on a different level today. We're going to do like a real talk instead of me being scripted. So the day started out with my son. Well, first of all, I couldn't find my keys to my car, to take him to school. So couldn't find my keys, and my son, wonderful as he is, kept saying, well, I don't want to go to school. He woke up this morning, even before I knew that I had lost my keys. I swear he manifested it, that little turkey. Anyway, manifested himself not going to school. So, I mean, look how powerful our next generation is. It's insane, and I love it. Maybe not at the moment, but pretty cool. Anyhow, wanted to talk about the craziness going on in the world right now. I know that there's a lot of people that are a little bit worried, and but the majority of us, I swear, and maybe it's just me, I can kind of feel this almost calm going down in the world right now, which is a great thing. And I know that it's chaotic, and there will be, no matter who wins, and I'm not getting into this whole political debate. That's not what this is about. This is about the fall of an empire, basically. And not that it's going to automatically bring us into this age where we don't need government, but it kind of has to take some steps. And I think at this point in time, people are really starting to see the faults in our system, which is a great thing. And I know that it feels kind of shitty at times, but this is a perfect example of how people are awakening and really seeing what is going on behind the scenes. So this is the other thing I wanted to talk about. No matter what, so I told you before that the media kind of sucks in our energy, and that's because we are creators. And in all honesty, there are some beings that are not. And so we're kind of the special, and we're not the only ones, but we are awakening to who we are, really. We're awakening to who we are and trying to figure that out instead of being suppressed by what other people were telling us, that we're very weak and we're powerless, and and now it's kind of coming about that we are not as powerless as we thought. And that's exactly why the media uses your energy within, the media, the movies, music, using your emotion, because I told you that emotion is energy in motion. So by using your emotion, your energy in motion, they can create. And so we are creators, in which case, this is the way it's playing out. No matter who wins, what side you are on, I don't want you to get sucked into this crazy emotional trauma of whether or not the person that you voted for or didn't vote for wins or loses. And this has happened in many elections. Have you ever seen people, they've got videos of these people that run outside and drop to their knees and scream and are crying, and there's so much built up anger and emotion because they didn't get their way. And this is why. It was created to be this huge energy sucking machine, okay? So all of a sudden you've got all these people that are rioting and all this stuff, and the media is only going to show the rioting, which in all honesty, there's so many more that are very calm about it. We have a choice. If you go out there and you're freaking out and you drop to your knees and you're screaming because you didn't get your way, that is exactly what is needed to pull in the masses to this negative timeline. And what we need is more people to just be calm and just realize that this, no matter what, is the rise and fall of an empire. So even if the person that you didn't want to win ends up winning, maybe that's what collectively we needed to change the system to begin with. You never know how things are going to play out. It's almost like the butterfly effect, where let's say you go out and accidentally fall and break your arm, and then you couldn't get to your meeting or whatever the case may be, and somebody sees that as this whole negative thing. But what you didn't see is behind the scenes, your guides needed you to break your arm because you needed to learn some lessons, and maybe you were not supposed to go to that meeting that day because something negative would have happened, or maybe something positive would have happened but then in the long run, you know, you wouldn't have learned your lesson. That's kind of the way it is. And if you kind of sit back and allow the ego to drop away, then you can see it from a higher perspective as to what is really happening. Now, the ego is your source of suffering. And when I talk about suffering, I mean the emotional built-up anger, and these are attachments. So if you disassociate or not identify with ego in that sense. Now, we all have an ego, and I know that there's this whole sense of being able to let go of the ego, but really, in my opinion, it doesn't mean it's right, but it's more so about stepping back and looking at yourself from a higher perspective instead of just ego-driven, which is here and in your face, and it's only the emotion that you're bringing out now because this is going to be for my highest good right now. But you also have to realize that this is, we need to collectively play this out in order for other people to see the darkness behind the veil. You know, that we talked about the veil is lifting. And really, people need to see what is happening behind the scenes and see the negative aspects of that in order to jump to a higher timeline. You know, you've got to see the crap. And that is what's going down right now, which is pretty exciting to me. I know that a lot of people get on this kick where it's this negative things and, you know, these negative timelines. But in all honesty, this, to me, is the best timeline. So the other day, I was in the hot tub with one of my besties, and we were talking about the hero's journey. Now, the hero's journey is in every single movie, and it's basically the person going through the movie is going to have a problem, they're going to have a solution, and then the end, you know, this is how all movies play out. Now, in your movie, and I think I've done videos a million times about how you have your own kind of film roll and that takes off and you're watching yourself. And I know that on the other side, when I have conversations with people on the other side, they talk about how we all just need to calm down because we're basically in this big movie that we're all playing out ourselves in order to learn. In our own hero's journey, we're watching this entire play and you know, the madness of this play. And I'm just thinking to myself, this has got to be one of the best movies I have ever seen. You know, when I look back at my life, and I know that you guys can all do this too, what a great movie. I mean, we have been through some crazy shit, and now we're in this, you are the one that chose to be in this timeline where there's some crazy shit going down, and it is the coolest thing to watch. I mean, it would be the most boring movie on the planet if you were sitting there and everything was perfect. We have learned so much, and we are still learning. And now this ginormous play is for you. You know, you're watching this, or you go back and replay your film reel in your head, and you have now gotten to the point where you can create the rest of your film, okay, the rest of your movie. And that's exciting to me. I've created the coolest movie on the planet, like in my aspect of what's going down. And I hope to God that you all feel the same way, and you can all get to the point where you can love the craziness as the alarm goes by. Yeah. Okay, so I love that you can finally get to the point where you can love your entire life, even the crazy stuff that you didn't agree to, or you thought you didn't agree to, but you did. That's exciting. And look how far you've come. Look at where you're at now, as opposed to if everything would have been going on perfectly in your world. I don't think you would have enjoyed it as much, because as I said, we've got to learn one end of the spectrum in order to appreciate the upper, you know, side of that, the more positive side of that. And now that you know that you are a creator, you can continue creating the timeline that you want, and jump to the timelines that you want. Now, in the description below, or actually up above, or both actually, I'm going to put the guided meditation. I'll probably put a link to both in the bottom, and somewhere within this video I will put both of my meditations, one of which you can jump to a more positive timeline, and you actually get to jump in there and create your own body. the way that you want it, with your own different mindset. And maybe this could be where you change the way that you think, as far as, before, where you didn't think that you were a creator, and now knowing that you are a creator, you can make that change into a different body. And then you jump back into the 5D timeline. And the 5D is just the higher dimension. Now, in the next video, or in the next couple of videos, I'm going to be talking about different dimensions in 8D, but really this is more about quantum science, and it actually goes beyond quantum science into the fabric of the universe, and how to kind of guide yourself and change those timelines. And there's actually scientific evidence for this. I'm not going to be an expert on it, but I'm really excited. I love diving into some of these things, especially quantum science and quantum physics, quantum theory, on how to create. And you don't have to know these things. I just get really excited about it. So just know that science backs this up. You are a creator, and you're on the correct timeline as we speak. No matter what, you are on the correct timeline that you need to be on in order to learn the lessons that you have chosen. So congratulations on getting to this point. You are amazing. You are a creator, and please try to stay away from all the crazy media bullshit right now, because it's not going to be for your benefit. Right now, we need to realize that this is all exciting. We are all creating together, and right now, who cares if it falls? Of course, there's going to be madness, but there's going to be madness no matter what. And we've got to get to a point where we all collectively come together and start to love each other, and actually start to give a shit about what goes on with somebody else. Now, the other thing that I want to say before I let you go is, no matter who somebody voted for or didn't vote, no matter what, we are all creating together. So even if this, you have conflicting stories, every single one of you has chosen the person that you wanted to vote for, or chose not to vote at all, and it was for the higher good of humanity, no matter what. I mean, I can't see, and maybe there are those people out there. Of course, they're not really going to be on those higher timelines, but the people that are on the higher timelines they're only doing that vote because that's what they think is the best for humanity. Now, just because somebody else has a different view than you doesn't mean that they want humanity to, die and crumble into a crazy, pit of hell. That's insane. Every single one of us wanted to vote for a specific person because of what we thought would bring to the table. And in my opinion, I'm hoping that it's all just going to crash. So maybe that's like this bad thing, but I'm kind of feeling like I'm excited to be on this timeline, and this is my movie, and man, I have created such a masterpiece, and I'm so excited to continue creating, and I'm excited to create with you collectively. So you guys have a wonderful day, a wonderful week. Please don't join into the crazy media bullshit, because it doesn't matter. What we are here for is it's what's playing out. So welcome to your ascension, creator. I will see you on the next video.